Nowgam is where the posters first appeared, and that investigation led to this huge cache of explosives getting discovered. Now, in an unfortunate incident last evening, late at night, when the SIA team, the Special Investigating Agency, and the forensic team were taking the explosives seized for further tests, further scrutiny, this explosive at the Nowgam Police Station exploded. At least 9 people have been killed in this powerful explosion, which completely demolished the Nowgam Police Station. Now, Ministry of Home Affairs is also in the loop. We are expecting a briefing from a Joint Secretary level officer in the Ministry of Home Affairs around 10 a.m. So we'll get you the on-record details of what the investigators believe happened. But Ishan Wani has been at the Nowgam Police Station since midnight last night when this incident happened. Ishan, just take us through. When you reached there, you were telling us earlier you could hear the explosion at your residence as well. When you reached there, what did you see and what is it that we know about the explosion at this moment?
Well, I was in my bed. It was around 11:30 when I suddenly received multiple calls. I was watching a movie, so I couldn't precisely hear the explosion sound. But people who live beyond my house, around 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers from this scene of blast, had texted me that there is a blast happened and we don't know what it is. Probably because the intensity was such and it was happened at a massive scale. Initially, my assessment was maybe sound barrier has been broken by an aircraft, because the area that was reporting the blast sound is close to the Srinagar airfield of the Indian Air Force. And then later on, while trying to unearth the entire thing, messaging our sources, it was told that either the blast has happened inside the Nowgam Police Station or outside the Nowgam Police Station, because there's a gas agency next to the Nowgam Police Station. So probably people thought it's an explosion that has happened in the gas cylinders, because there were multiple explosions happening at the same time. But later on, our sources indicated that it's a blast that has taken place inside. And somebody who spoke to the police person there told me that there's a blast that has occurred while they were trying to do a forensic analysis and take samples. And there was a specific teams that had come to the police station around 11:30. That's when the blast had happened. I immediately rushed to the spot. There was chaos, there was mayhem, there were sirens, there were police rushing in. Multiple team of CRPF, Army, J&K Police, Intelligence, CID, everyone was present on the ground trying to figure out what really had happened. Nobody had a clue that how many people have been injured, how many people have died, because the entire police station presented a scene of a rubble. It seemed like it had come down entirely. Vehicles were burning. Some vehicles were, fire service was spraying water on them. But there was a danger and the threat that police was constantly saying, let's not go near to the scene. But they had a mission in their hand, because their brothers in arms, fellow policemen were injured. They were lying under the debris, so they had to take them out. Without thinking about their lives, they rushed in, they picked them up, ambulances were called. Help was called. Private vehicles were used in the vicinity to take the injured and people that time out. Several stretchers I saw moving dead bodies. There are very gory details that I don't want to share right now, but the body parts had gone out around 100 meters out. We were able to see some of them. Even the parts of the vehicle and some other parts from the police station had moved at least 200 to 300 meters away from the location of the blast. So this can tell you the intensity of the blast. And even the houses nearby, their window panes, windows, glasses had come out and fallen on them. And they were shocked because most of them were sleeping. It's cold in Kashmir. People go to bed by 10, 10:30, 11. And when the blast had happened, everybody woke up. The entire locality woke up. The national highway which connects Kashmir to the rest of the country is just 100 to 150 meters away from the police station. The traffic came to a grinding halt there. The truck drivers stopped because the intensity of the blast was huge. There was fire, there was chaos. But later on, police brought the situation under control. But unfortunately, 9 people from FSL, police photographers who were taking pictures, SIA inspector have unfortunately died in this particular blast.
Right. Ishan, what was the source of this explosive? Was it part of the cache that was seized from Umar's house? Was it the part of the cache that was seized in Faridabad? Do we know how much quantity and what the source was?
The police that we spoke to yesterday, they denied any RDX or any such explosive, because RDX needs a specific trigger or an explosive to detonate it. So they are ruling out that. They are saying that the explosive material that was seized from Faridabad was brought to police station in Nowgam. Was it safe to keep it there? These are the later on questions for the investigators to answer. But it was kept in large quantity there. That's why the blast was so huge. Though it was night, there is silence, there are no vehicles. Sound was heard around 40 kilometers away. There are reports and eyewitnesses who have said that they heard it as far as 40 kilometers away at the night time. But it was huge. must have been in large quantity. It was being seized because SIA team of the J&K police deals specifically with the intelligence and also the investigation part of the story. And because this needed thorough investigation, SIA had been formed on the lines of NIA to locally investigate the matter. And the SIA was taking samples. There was a local tailor also who was brought in to seal with the material, because if you have seen the process of how the sealing is done through stitching all together the material and all of them in front of a magistrate who is a tehsildar who was present there, and possibly those officers have also died in this blast. Some of them are stable now, policemen who are being treated at the hospital in different hospitals of Kashmir, including Army's hospital, private hospital, and also government hospitals.
So here's the next question. If this material was transported from Faridabad all the way to Nowgam and it did not explode en route but exploded at the Thana, is there any conspiracy that is being suspected? The reason I ask you this is also because Nowgam is where this entire module started unfolding when the posters came up and the stone pelters were arrested, isn't it?
Well, police is denying any conspiracy, any such thing for now. But the DGP of the J&K police will address a press conference shortly after 40 minutes at 10 o'clock and to clarify that what really had transpired and the chain of investigation that has followed in this matter. What we also know is that so far the investigators are saying that they were trying to collect pieces. That's when an accidental blast has taken place. Arima, if you remember our earlier conversation when you said that the investigation is still going on to really how it was triggered, because the material and the pieces of evidences haven't been stitched together. Similarly in Kashmir, because this material was same, how did it explode? What was the trigger? Is there any specific chemical that these doctors have explored which is resulting in triggering by a certain action, by a certain way, or by a certain disturbance? But the fact that the explosive was brought from that there to here, it means that it must have been, some mind must have been applied to ensure that the material does not explode or does not create harm while transporting it. But why did it explode at the police station? How did it explode? What was the trigger? What were they precisely doing? Were they collecting some of the sample from it? What was the quantity of the material that was stored in the police station, and that police station which is in the civilian populated area? That is something we have to wait and see. Could the casualties have been avoided from the police? That's something also we have to see. But unfortunate day for the families who have lost their loved ones in this massive blast.
Right, Ishan, do hold on. Ishan was one of the first to reach ground zero and cover this Nowgam blast.